but in the 1910s, convulsed with social unrest. Workers repeatedly went on strike for decent conditions. In London's Sydney Street, a gang of anarchists fired on the Home Secretary Winston Churchill, and suffragettes fought to win women the vote. However, in 1914, the country suspended its internal struggles and united to fight the Hun. In August 1914, the First World War shattered Britain's peace and prosperity. At first, people remained optimistic. Don't worry, they said, it will all be over by Christmas. It wasn't. By Christmas, the British Army were bogged down in the trenches. The Allies had stopped the German advance, but thanks to the ingenuity of new weapons, they now faced a deadly stalemate. For the infantry, there was one weapon that outperformed all others, the machine gun. For the British, that meant the Vickers machine gun. Capable of firing 600 rounds a minute, the Vickers perfected an automatic reloading system dreamed up many years before. In the early 1880s, Hiram Maxim, an American inventor living in London, had a eureka moment. Whilst firing a rifle, he developed a sore shoulder from the recoil of the gun. He realized that with a bit of clever engineering, he could use the energy of the recoil to throw out the spent cartridge and load the next. The result was the world's first automatic machine gun, the Maxim gun. In 1896, the British company Vickers bought Maxim's company and set about improving the weapon. They reduced its weight by taking out all unnecessary parts and devised an ingenious mechanism to improve its reliability. This muzzle booster on the front increased the gun's recoil and helped it reload automatically. As the bullet passes through this hole, it's blocked for a fraction of a second. The expanding gases created by the firing of a bullet now have nowhere to go. They force this plunger back, which cocks the mechanism in readiness for the next round. Well, let's give it a try, shall we? Even firing blanks, I get a sense of the awesome power of this weapon. It could fire as many rounds in a minute as 40 men with rifles. Don't think I'd like to be on the receiving end. In just 20 seconds, I've fired 200 rounds, enough to kill 200 people. With a range of 2.5 miles, this was one of the most lethal weapons on the fields of Flanders. In fact, it was so efficient that in 1914, the Vickers machine gun and its German equivalent made it almost impossible for infantry to cross no man's land unscathed. It helped create the deadlock of trench warfare, the stalemate that lengthened the war and cost millions of lives.